Today, we want to say welcome to the Dennis Year Effect podcast, where business leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionary share the blueprint and they break through. I'm your host, James Dennis Year, and every week we dive in with different business owners to have the conversation about business. And really, this is your front row to the playbook. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Look, today we have a very special guest, by the name, but I'm never even going to tell you her name. She's going to introduce herself. But we met through a gathering, a friend that was celebrating their birthday, and they invite us, me, my brother, which we are longtime friend. Carlos, if you're watching this, Carlos, my brother, love you very much. When we were there, we get to connect. We spoke about business. We spoke about family. And I just think she's a very fun person to talk to. And that's when we told her, hey, listen, maybe you should come to the podcast and have a conversation. She's also in the insurance field where she's licensed to do health and life insurance. We're going to get right into it. So, Grace, welcome. How are you today?
I am doing very well. Thank you, James.
It's great to have you today. And I cannot wait to unpack some of the question that I have for you, but please tell the crowd, and this is your camera here, so tell the crowd a little bit about you, your background, where you're from, before we dive into some of these questions.
Sure. So my name is Grace Fiornacenti. I am a licensed 215 life, health, and annuity agent, and I am in Florida.
Well, you're not just in Florida, because you're licensed in different states as well.
That's true. I am 50 states, and I'm dual certified for Medicare, Medicaid.
Beautiful, beautiful. And one thing about Grace, when I first spoke with you, there is a level of passion that is, in your eyes when we talk about Medicare, when we talk about, the line of business. So what first drew you to the insurance career? And was there like a moment where that you experienced that make you decide to say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
So yes, just to bring you back a little bit, I was a corporate travel agent for 10 and a half years. 9/11, of course, changed that and changed so much more. Outside of that, the relocation to Florida, I went into customer service for a little bit. Ended up with a company doing customer service on the property casualty level. And my supervisor was like, Grace, you really need to be in a different part of this industry. You need to be helping people with life. I think it would be a better option for you. So long story short, I shifted over to sales for a little while. And then I expanded on getting my life, health, and annuity license. And since then, I am a person who goes out of their way to help people. When I notice that people are struggling and not understanding, even when I was on the Medicare side, during AEP, not OEP, whatever it was, if people had questions, I would break it down for them. Nice. I would take the time to make sure that they understood whether it was a sale or not.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about the sale. It was about the education and what was right for the client.
Yes.
And with that, I earned a lot of respect. I have shared my personal phone number with a lot of clients to say, look, if you have any other questions or, if you can't get me, whatever the circumstances, and then there were a lot that I just connected with generally. I think that a holistic way of living is a lot better than following the doctor's orders. I'm so sorry. But it's true. And, you see some elder people struggling with dementia, and that's related to certain medications. So with that being said, I would let them know, hey, this is an option, that's an option. And then I email my regimen over to them, or I'll text it over to them, whatever is easier for them, to be able to get themselves into a healthier regimen in their life.
That's pretty good.
There's no reason why you have to be 60, 70 years old struggling, and so many people struggle.
That's true. That is true. And I like the educational approach you mentioned, because even like in the Medicare, not just Medicare as a whole, like in business as well, whatever you are representing, whether it's life insurance, health insurance, or maybe you're selling car, the education is the key component that's going to build the trust and is going to bring the leverage that is necessary for you to do the transaction if there's going to be a transaction.
Mhm.
So I like the approach of education that you have with your client. Tell me a little bit about the travel agent a little bit, because you mentioned that. Can you elaborate a little bit? Tell me a little bit experience on that.
I definitely can. So
Yes.
back in New Jersey, I started at 21 years old
Hmm.
in a travel agency, and they actually did PNC, the other side of
Hmm.
the business. You know, that kind of the PNC is like your bread and butter.
Yeah.
You know, anything outside of that is bonus.
Yes.
So they had hired me. I was a leisure travel agent, and that leisure travel agent turned into a friend of mine had said, "Hey, Grace, my company's got us going out to Hong Kong. Can you get me out there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So it was two of him and two of his friends.
Hmm.
One was out of Chicago. Both of the other two were in New York. So I got them over to Hong Kong, and they were the first ones to actually land at the hotel. They were like, "We're here."
Hmm.
To the point where the CEO rolled in around 7, 8 o'clock at night. They got there around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And the CEO was like, "Oh, you know, he had a horrible time, whatever." And one of the guys said, "Oh, yeah, you got to go talk to the person." I'll just say JS. Um, but he was like, "Yeah," he was like, he's been here since 2 o'clock sipping cocktails. So from there, I had a meeting with the CEO of the company, and it was an electrical company out in New Jersey.
Mhm.
And they were like, "We want to contract with you." So that started. That was my first corporate account.
Hmm.
And then through word of mouth, I picked up another 6 corporate accounts, or it's 6 in total at that point. In about 2.5 years, by my third year, I was just touching into 8 corporate accounts, all by referral,
Really?
all by
It's pretty
referral.
impressive.
Yes. And they started on leisure. Some of them went directly into, corporate travel. And then from there, I did, and good God, I can't remember the name of the program that I did, but I did this program, and it was all about customer service and how when you're able to relate to customers on their level,
Hmm.
you're able to expand on so many other levels. So with that being said, I did exactly that and went and had the 800 pager, because we're talking early 90s. I had the 800 pager for all of my clients so that it wouldn't be a cost for them no matter where they were trying to reach me from.
Mm.
Um, I had my cell phone, I had my home phone, and then I had my business line, and they had all of my numbers.
Wow.
My cards were like, it's like a roster of information. But so with that, in the next 2 years, um, I had picked up 16 corporate accounts. I literally
Really?
doubled. Yeah.
Wow.
I had over 100 by 1997.
Mm.
By 1997, I was making over $100,000 a year. I had over 100 people flying a month. My life was completely different.
Interesting.
Completely different.
Interesting. And I know before we went live, we talk about the power of uh pretty much getting referrals
Mhm.
from your current market. So you've been doing that for a while, which is pretty impressive. And I believe anyone who can actually grow, I mean, in 2 years, you double what you had.
Yeah.
Anyone who can actually grow into any sector, you end up in some kind of level of mastery, to actually get that done. Because if you think about it, you may get 10 other people who does the same thing, doing the same time, same period you was doing it. You probably 10x when it comes to your financial gain than compared to what other people are doing that. Would you say?
Yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah. So even like that's why I know it's going to be interesting speaking with you, because it takes a different mindset to actually work a book of business, run a business, and it takes people skills to really know how to leverage the service you have and actually tell them what's in it for them in a very special way that would make them grow. So you mentioned you pretty much you was born and raised in Jersey. You born
Correct.
in Jersey.
Yeah.
How has Jersey compared to Florida for you?
Oh, so I'm going to answer this on a professional level.
Of course.
Of course. One thing I noticed with coming to Florida is that the level of people are not as genuine and honest
As Jersey.
as Jersey.
Interesting. Elaborate on that.
Oh, I definitely will. So in New Jersey, that whole tri-state area, people speak their minds, and it's not about, do you like what I'm saying or am I telling you the truth? And up there, this is the truth. Whether you like it or not, the cards are on the table.
Mm.
Down here, you've got the snakes in the grass. You've got people who try to manipulate, and I just don't like that. So one of the reasons why I veer away from a lot of people is specifically for that. If you're not 100%, I don't want to deal with you.
Interesting. It's funny. Well, not funny. It's interesting you said that, because here's what I realized. I mean, you have to take into consideration my whole life I've been in Florida,
Mhm.
right? And when it comes to that aspect of things, when it comes to business, and really when it comes to innovation and an aspect of growth, what I realize is the more high net worth person you stay in contact with, that have an interest on growing, or their business growing on what you have to offer, the level of politics decrease. That's my experience.
To a degree.
To a degree. That's
To
why I
a
say
degree.
decrease.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'll say this.
Mhm.
Working in Florida,
Mhm.
I noticed that there would be a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy
Mhm.
on the type of person that I am. I don't want to say that I'm showy, because I'm not, but what I am is diligent and dedicated. And when people see the level of dedication that I put out there, they become uncomfortable. They begin looking at themselves. I'm a person that can look in the mirror every day and never question what I see. And there's a lot of people in the world in general that can't look in that mirror and see who they are because they don't know who they are.
Mm.
So I'm one of those people that I'm going to give you 100% of me every single time that we communicate, because I want you to know that not only am I here to, of course, do my job, I'm also here because I care. I care enough to make sure that when you go through your year of whatever situations you're going through, and I'll relate this on a medical level, you know that you have the coverage that you need
Mhm.
and the ability to align with the proper doctors to be able to get you the help that you need.
Yes.
Um, Once again, I'm going to just revert back to always trying to make things more of a holistic
Mhm.
process. And, but of course, we all still need doctors to refer back to,
Of course. Of course.
you know? So that's something that I noticed. And in a lot of my work experience in Florida, I'd noticed that, and I'm not saying that I overdress any part.
Mhm.
I'm I don't know anyone who doesn't like to look nice, you
Of
know.
course. Yeah.
So I attract attention, and not just from the male side, but from the female side. And the
Mhm.
female side is more envious because it's like,
Mhm.
I get
Mhm.
those kind of looks, and I'm like, oh
Yes.
my God.
Well, here's what I can say to that part as well. Whenever you are aligned
Hmm.
with yourself
Hmm.
and you align with the divine power, you have no choice
But the
but
shine.
to shine. You
Yeah,
have no choice.
exactly.
And ideally is one thing, I forgot who really says that. People who's going to criticize you are those who are below you.
Hmm.
So, and the aspect of, then if you know, or we know that's going to happen, then we might as well continue to shine looking up, but not
Mhm.
backwards, not
Oh,
down,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I have today a good friend of mine sent me a video of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, the author of Think and Grow Rich.
Mhm.
And he sent a version that, and this book was written years ago. Now he sent a version of it that can actually relate into today's society. And part of the teachings talk about a scarcity mindset versus a growth mindset, an abundance mindset.
Mhm.
And typically, those who view people in a way, in a sense of envy, in a sense of jealousy, it's it's not an abundance mindset.
No, but see, and I'll just say this, being in corporate America, you see it a lot more than you think. And
Corporate,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm.
Hmm.
In corporate America, you see it a lot more because there's always someone, and not to say that it's appearance, not to say that it's anything, just my morals, my ethics,
Hmm.
my, who I am as a person. Like I won't call somebody out if I hear that they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing.
Hmm.
I'm going to let them deal with their own serpents. You know what I mean? Um, what I do is I just make it a point to stay on point with, the ethics and the morals, and understanding that not only do clients have a life that they have to live, they also have a responsibility not only to themselves, but to the people that love them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So always making sure that you're making the best choices or presenting the best opportunities for them is my main concern.
Yes. And just to piggyback on what you said and at the beginning of the conversation, my background, I used to work in a restaurant, right? I used to work culinary for over 11 years. And one thing that I know of me is whatever I'm doing, I'm going to put 100% on it. You know how you say speak your mind? Sometimes I
Mhm.
get in trouble for speaking my mind.
Mm.
You know, I'm not, I'm a no filter type of guy,
So
you
am
know?
I. So am I.
um, so when it comes to corporate America, I don't like the structure of mainly of corporate America because your growth is subjective to the person above you. And I'm a guy, when I started working over there, I started as a dishwasher and I worked the patio a lot. Uh, this is the introductory level in the
Mhm.
restaurant world,
Mhm.
but I did it with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
There was no other dishwasher that would wash those dishes better than me. And I would do that with a joy.
Mhm.
And because of that, I stand out. I was not looking to stand out.
Mhm.
And I remember um, a few years after working, and there is a management position came up, and the 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 management division select me and one other person to
Nice.
apply for this position. Let me tell you, the level of jealousy, the level of envy, the level of and
Criticism.
criticism, and
Mhm.
it's like that's one thing me and my wife we spoke about a lot. Genuinely, if you are winning, I love that for you.
Exactly.
Like, and it's genuine.
But it's a soul level.
Oh
That's
my,
the difference.
that's and when I start experiencing growth bring a level of
Mhm.
responsibilities, not just in the aspect of work, but also your environment, it's like I had a hard time processing it
Yeah.
because I'm genuinely happy for people who are winning. And my
Mhm.
wife is the same way. So when I got that position, because I worked my butt off, one of the guys, and here is for illustration, just to show you,
Mhm.
one of the guys says to another person, he said, you know what? I don't know about James anymore. He said, I want you to think of this. I feel like me and James, we used to be the bad guys. We used to do the bad things together. And now James actually become a cop because I get
Mhm.
accepted to management.
Mhm.
and he knows my way. So I can trust that guy.
Mm.
Now all of a sudden, this guy started creating trouble for me, and
Mhm.
this is someone I was like this with at work.
Mhm.
So that's just to show you, to piggyback on everything you said. It's so true. And really, it happened mostly in corporate America,
Mhm.
which I love business because at the end of the day, I can measure myself against myself,
Mhm.
what I did last year compared to this year.
Exactly.
And then I just focus on that. And that's enough growth for me and of my competitors out there.
Amen.
Yeah, just to segue to another question for you. I don't know if you had anything to say about what I just mentioned.
Just like I said, amen. That's all I can say about it, because when a person elevates to a higher level,
Mhm.
it's not only on a monetary level, it should also be on a spiritual level.
Yes. Yes.
I full-heartedly believe that, all of us interact on a soul level. And if you're not interacting on that level, that's a person that I don't want to deal with.
Amen to that.
Mhm.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Question for you. For those who really don't know you yet, how would you really describe yourself? Describe Grace in 3 words.
In 3 words.
In 3 words.
Energetic,
Mhm. I can definitely see that. Yes.
humble,
Hmm.
thankful.
I like that. Energetic, humble, and thankful.
Mhm.
Tell me why. Tell me why you think
So energetic. The Energizer Bunny.
that.
I go and go and go and go. Um, the Energizer Bunny, there I am and then thankful. I definitely believe my mother named me right. Grace is thankful. I'm always thankful for every opportunity that I get, whether it be something that pans out or doesn't pan out. Because you have to be able to receive on every level
Mhm.
to be thankful, in my opinion. Like, to be able to seriously generate true being truly thankful. I thank God every day, not only for the breath in my lungs, not only for the fact that I've opened my eyes, but for the people that I connect with, who I'm able to help, who I'm able to, you know, uh, and I know this is insane, but even $1 on the street, I let me say this correctly. If you're out there um, generating for a cause, I'm going to donate to that cause.
Mm.
Okay. If you are in a situation, I gauge that situation. I don't give money to just anybody on the side of the road. I will say this. There was a time a couple of years ago when I was back in the Tampa area. I was not doing too well financially. And I saw a Middle Eastern family out there looking for money.
Mhm.
I passed them. I turned around, ironically, at a CVS. I turned around, went through the parking lot, gathered everything that I had of like coin, whatever.
Mhm.
It's just outside of like bank money.
Mhm.
And I pulled up alongside of them at the bus stop with a father who had a sign saying that they can't make rent. They're struggling, and he's got his wife in, and their children.
Mhm.
I think I handed them maybe $6, $7, $8, whatever it was. And I said, "Here, God bless.
Mm.
I wish I could do better." But you gauge the people
Mhm.
that are out there. And I'm not saying judge. I'm saying gauge.
Gauge. Yeah.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
Um, so being thankful for not only my judgments, not only for um my blessings, you know. Um not everything comes the same way.
True.
So you have to be thankful for everything that does, because it may not be a blessing, but it's definitely a lesson.
Mhm. I mean, everything that happened in our life, for those who believe in God, it happened for us.
Mhm,
It's not to us.
mhm,
And some situation we will go through is to sharpen our belief in God.
mhm,
One thing I always tell one thing I always mention is when people think they are in control, you are so wrong of what's happening in your life. As a believer, that's where I stand. Because a lot of things in life would not make sense. So the worst thing you could do is to judge someone. I like the fact that you use gauging.
Mhm.
And if you look at the families, a husband, wife, and kids, um, regardless of what's going on, at least you put yourself in a position to do something.
Mhm.
Which is in a way that even if it's a word of prayer,
Mhm.
you were able to do. That is something. At least you acknowledge the situation.
Mhm.
So being thankful to me is one of the pinnacle. What's the word I can use beside thankful? But it's not coming to mind.
Appreciative.
Yeah, just appreciative. The fact that you were able to do something, whether it's prayer
Mhm.
or financial support, you were able to do something. And as we were talking on that, what does serving your community means to you? Meaning, as an insurance professional, can you think of like maybe a memorable time where you help someone and the outcome of that help make you feel like you're doing way more than just insurance?
So it's fulfilling.
Hmm.
It's an emotional gratification is how I see it. And that's for everybody I help, whether I sell you a policy or not.
Hmm.
Um, you know, education is always going to be the forefront.
Hmm.
Now, not everybody's going to follow. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. The reality behind that is you still take the time and you educate someone. And that right there makes me feel like, okay, didn't benefit me, it benefited someone else.
Hmm.
And that's where humble comes in my opinion. When you're able to share your knowledge, your
Yes.
wealth, and the wealth of the person that you are, not the wealth in your pocket. When you're able to share that wealth, that in itself is humbling in a way where people will be like, I mean, I've had people cry on the phones to me.
Hmm.
I can't believe how honest you are. I can't believe how you've taken all this time and you're still okay with, okay, well, we'll talk next year. You're in a good plan. Stay where
Hmm.
you are.
Yep.
There's no reason to move.
Yep.
If there's a reason to move, I'll let you know. If there's not, stay where you are. You
Stay
know
where you are.
anyone who may need a review? By all means, share my information. That's in my eyes, that is more I, I guess more in like in a humbling way.
Hmm.
I'm not saying, "Oh, okay, well, I got to go," or "Well, yeah, thank you for calling blah blah company. You have a great day."
Hmm.
No, let them know that you're there as a human being. I'm not just because I sit in a sales role does not mean I am the salesperson. Okay, I'm an educator. I'm going to educate you for you to make the proper decisions because without proper education, you cannot make a proper
I
decision.
agree.
And that's the bottom line for me. I don't know that there's and I'll say this, I feel that the industry that we're in has been tainted um, by a lot of self-serving people.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a self-serving business. This is a business to help others. In the process of helping others, you will be helped.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that anyone who believes in God knows that when you go down a path of helping someone else, it may not come from that person, but down the road, it will come from someone, somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
People reach out and things happen. In our darkest times, we go through difficult challenges. We have to experience, uneasy settlings for whatever reason. Everyone goes through their own trials and
Mm-hmm.
tribulations. With that being said, I will take every trial and I will take every tribulation because I know in the end, that's always making me that, and I don't mean to say this in a negative way, but that much
Hmm.
better. Okay, that much better as a whole, as a person. Um, and I believe it brings me closer to God.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more with what you say. And as you were talking, you mentioned one thing, and that's something that I say a lot, and I teach my guys to do that. Keep your plan. If you have a good plan,
Hmm.
why change it? Just because I'm a broker, I can do that. But if it's not necessary, and it's really, I would say, our integrity as a company and my personal integrity is really one of the big aspects that keep us in business today.
Um,
And you don't find that often. The other day I'm watching this guy who was doing a live on TikTok, and he, because he does so many lives, so one person, a prospect, called him and say, "Hey, I want you to review my life insurance policy."
mm,
And when he reviewed the life insurance policy, which was an IUL, based on what the client was looking to do, he then structured to do what the client wanted to do.
mm.
So he educated the client, and he said, "Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call your agent and give him the opportunity to fix this for
To
you."
rectify the problem, yeah.
That is a good agent.
Yes.
So, long story short,
I gotta
he
tell you. Go ahead.
long story short, he called the agent.
Mhm.
He said, "Hey, my name is such and such. Your client, such and such, reach out to me. Here's the policy you have for her. I'm gonna give you a week to make it right for the client, because what she's looking for is XYZ." He said a week later, that person never called him back, nor called the client.
See ya.
So he changed everything. He did a 1035 exchange to
Mhm.
get the cash value, but structured a new policy how the client would want the policy. But I'm saying all that to say, we do have a few people out there that is still legitimately looking to do what's right for the client, as opposed to 99% of other agents out there. "Oh, this is not structured properly. I'm gonna go ahead and fix it for you." But
Yes.
really, if you're really in the best interest of the client, and you, I mean, find ways that you're not so commission hungry,
Mhm.
where you just flipping business just to flip business. Then, even
Mhm.
though the guy had, I mean, it's a policy, he can easily flip it, but he opened the door for the agent to fix it.
To do the right thing.
But the agent didn't,
To do the
you
right
know?
thing.
So, but yeah,
Exactly.
just to piggyback on
Mhm.
something you said earlier. But yeah, go ahead. You was going to say something.
So I'm just gonna say this: where we met,
Yes.
there was another guest there that was talking about an IUL, and it wasn't the woman that you had put me in the dog seat, because I felt like I felt like the spotlights were on me when you were standing to my left, and I had the other woman,
Uh-huh.
and I'll leave the, names out,
Yes.
but standing up against me, and I was sitting down. I felt like not good. I was
Oh,
like, wow,
really?
yeah. I was like, because you're like, okay, what's an IUL? And I'm like,
I'm so sorry.
and I don't know if it was just an I should have stood up, is what I should have done. Because, like I said, the conversation was I was sitting down and both of you were standing up, and I just felt like,
Oh my God. Now you're saying it, I'm visualizing it.
you
It's
see
like,
my,
oh man, I should have shook your chair and get you to stand up or something. Or I should have sat down, because I ate standing up that
yes, you
night.
did. You said you always do, actually,
I
though.
actually do that very often. Even
Uh,
yesterday, we had a get together here, a brunch.
mm,
The whole time I was eating, I was standing up.
standing up.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So there was another guest
Hmm.
that was there, and she had made mention of an IUL.
Hmm.
And I had said to her, I said, there's max funding IUL.
Hmm.
And with the max funding IUL, I said, depending on if the structure of your plan is good, you feel confident with it, just go ahead and just feed it more. She was only
Hmm.
feeding 200 a month.
Hmm.
And I was like, jump that up to 1,200 a month. You're going to see a huge difference,
Yes.
and I left it at that. Not let's take a look at it. You
Mm,
know what I do.
yes,
You
yes.
want me, you call me.
Gotcha.
I'm not, I'm going to tell you how to make your best moves without making myself part of that move.
Hmm.
You want me in that move?
You
Here I
call
am.
me. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Which is a good mindset, really. It's a mindset of attraction. as well, because when you're showing the potential client that you're not really too interested on, give them another business, really just go do that. But as they doing that, they may need help, and then they can call you, and then you can guide them through the process. And as you guiding them, if they need to pivot and adjust, or maybe get another product, because one of the thing I realize, when I unless I'm doing a full, so let me give you an example, right? I just call a client of mine, give him the good news. He's approved for $1.5 million in the
Life.
death benefits and life
Mhm.
insurance. And he's also going to be using the infinite banking concept with it. Ideally, it was for $2.5 million, but they decreased on it based on what his business is doing. But I give him that product is already max funded,
Mhm.
and he already have a great death benefits with living benefits. One thing I realized on the policies that is structured for max accumulation, the agent never educate, or a lot of agent don't educate the client on the remainder of the death benefits that is needed. Because when
Mhm.
you max funding a policy that's not so high of like $1.5 million, when you are not max funding it, you're putting $200, and let's just say you have the least amount of death benefits. Well, if you have 3 kids and then you end up passing away, or you end up being very sick, what happened is you only have access to that death benefit, let's just say, $80,000, for example, because you max funding the cash value component. So one thing I always tell my client is, as you are getting this policy and you max funding it with 500, 1,000, 1,200 or 1,500, whatever it may be, well, your death benefit is not enough to cover your family. So consider getting a term policy, which is very affordable for the next 20, 30 years, depending on the situation,
Where the need is.
where the need is, correct.
But
So,
don't live on a term policy. A lot of people make mistakes and say, "Oh, I don't need a whole life universal." No, yeah, you do.
yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
You know,
You do. Your financial vehicle is not as strong. Is not as strong when you only have a term policy.
correct.
Yeah, you need something else, a different vehicle.
Term is structured just for the specific years of a person's life. And
Yes,
that's it.
that's it.
So you have a newborn child, you need to make sure for the next 20 to 30 years
Hmm.
that you have, that child's best interest at heart.
Yes.
Because in my opinion, children do not ask to be born. We bring them in. We need to take care of them.
Hmm.
You know, um, and not everyone believes in that way, but that's how I was raised, and that's who I am. So, and as our discussion went a little
Yes. Yes.
before our
Yeah.
podcast, you see how I don't base myself on money. I base myself on how I can help the people that I love.
That's true.
You know, so with that being said, the best part of a term policy is when you're in the middle of that mortgage, when you're in the middle of raising those children, and you want to, properly protect them in the event of your demise,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah, I like you mentioned it. I'll just elaborate a little bit more. Yeah, when a term policy is needed, really, really needed, is at the time where your liabilities are just so high.
Mhm.
So you have 2 kids, 3 kids, um, maybe you have a mortgage and so on.
Mhm.
But if something were to happen to you during that time of liability, the kids are still depending on you, you have a mortgage and so on. If something were to happen between that time, what's going to happen to your life? You
What's gonna
know?
happen to their
And
life?
what's going to happen to their life?
Yeah. And living benefits is also a good way to stabilize your life as well. And I
Hmm.
absolutely love when I originally came into life insurance,
Hmm.
one company, and I'm gonna leave names out
Hmm.
once again, one company was very strong on living benefits. And that sold itself
Yes.
because, and I'm not talking accident plans, I mean actual life insurance companies that offer living benefits,
Yes.
and where you're able to use the money based on if you have a heart attack, if you have a TIA, if you have cancer, if you have liver disease, if you whatever's going on,
Hmm.
you need that money to survive,
Yes,
keep the roof over your head, keep your children, fed, and get the medical treatment that you need. You've got it.
that's true. That is so true. And you know what's unfortunate? Without mentioning any names of any particular company, what's unfortunate is we still have agents in 2025 that is selling a basic term life insurance with no living benefits.
Which is insane.
Insane.
Insane. I'm right
And
there with you.
oh my goodness, because they what I always tell people is you have to imagine, this is one of the illustration that I pick up on my career from one of the past mentors I have. You have to imagine life insurance as like a phone,
Mhm.
right? Back in the 80s, you had phones,
Rotary dial.
right? You had the rotary dial. And if you think of the cell phone, when did cell phone come out?
90s. Well, late 80s.
Late 80s?
Doctors had them in like the late 80s.
Okay. And
You
they
know,
were like super big.
bricks.
And it cannot even fit in your pocket type of stuff, right? So that was fun back then.
Mhm. Car
But
phones.
car phones and so on. And you have a whole briefcase that is a phone you're carrying with you
Yeah.
and so on. So
The
that
evolution.
the
has
evolution
just-
of phone. So that was fun back then.
Yeah.
But now in 2025, we have these little gadgets.
Mhm.
We email on them. We text on them. We surf the internet on them. We run a whole business on them.
Mhm.
But guess what? We still call it phone,
yeah.
right? So it's the same thing. So if you think of life insurance back then with no living benefits, it's a death benefit.
Mhm.
If you think of life insurance back then, that's kind of it's how you can compare
Stone
the two.
Age.
Yeah.
Flintstone.
So yeah, like the Flintstone, yes. So back then, life insurance was just about you dying and leave something to your family.
Correct.
But today, life insurance does way more than just that through living benefits,
Mhm.
right? So it's just it's not baffled because those agents who sell those term policy with no living benefits, that's the only options they have. So they
Mhm.
have to push that
They have to
to
exactly.
the client.
Mhm.
But life insurance can do so much more outside of just death benefits. You
Mhm.
can use life insurance while you're alive. If you get sick, they'll send you a check to
Mhm.
take care of yourself. So you don't foreclose on that mortgage, you
Mhm.
know? So it's unfortunate that's still happening right now, but I thought I'll elaborate on that.
Mhm.
I'm not mentioning
So
any
I
names.
actually want to add a little extra
Yes,
on that as
please.
well.
Yes, please.
In 2007, I was faced with thyroid cancer,
Mm.
papillary carcinoma. My mother died at age 58. My grandmother died at age 48, and my uncle died at age 60, literally 6 weeks after my mother died.
Mm.
Okay, in 2000. I will say this: I learned a lot when my mother got sick, and they said she would be around for 6 months to a year. I kept her around for 5.5 years holistically.
Mm.
I will also say this:
Mhm.
I at 34, I went to my endocrinologist. I said, something's wrong. I have an itch in my throat. It doesn't make sense. We got to figure this out. He sent me to every other doctor to check for, ENTs, polyps, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Everything came back negative, negative, negative. Finally, he decided to do a needle aspiration ultrasound.
Mhm.
Ultrasound showed that the pea-sized nodule that was in my thyroid had now gotten smaller. That don't sound good.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I said to him, I was like, okay, so now what do we do? Oh, a needle aspiration biopsy. 3 times needle aspiration biopsy. No anesthetic, no nothing, just this monstrosity of a needle getting jammed into your throat.
My
Okay.
God.
Not fun.
Mm.
By the 3rd time, he was like, well, rare findings, need more specimen. We're done. I told him, we're
We're
done.
done.
We're done. Okay. We're not doing this. Order the thyroidectomy, call it a day. Going to leave the insurance aspect out of it, but they told that my surgeon that he could only take half of my thyroid out. I told him, you know my history, take the whole thing out. He did. In that process where he cut and and you'll see why I believe so strongly in a higher power.
Mhm.
Where my surgeon cut, he cut right on 1 millimeter carcinoma. That is a period on a piece of paper.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. The pathologist, nightmare. But anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. He removed the full thyroid, said that he didn't like the way it looked. No, he saw something that I didn't, that I didn't expect.
Hmm.
But anyway, here it is. At age 37, I'm facing cancer.
Wow.
Okay, the same cancer that wiped out my mother, my grandmother, and my uncle.
Mm,
Okay,
mm.
and I was catching it in the very beginning. Not only did I open the door for Moffitt, and I shouldn't have put names out, but I will say this: I switched endocrines to another endocrinologist, and I did research and answered surveys for 5 years with that
Mhm, mhm,
company,
mhm.
opening the door to Hashimoto's disease and uh, thyroid cancer, leading to colon cancer.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, hypothyroidism.
Really?
Yeah, opened the door from a lot of research back in the 90s with my mom, and then this now happening to me. I put the puzzle together and opened the door to them finding out. Now there's more, and I don't know how many doctors are actually doing what I found, but I know that facility
Mhm.
does.
Mm.
And they, from time to time, I will get like emails asking, or I've gotten, just questionnaires. Can you respond to this, respond to that, respond to that?
Interesting.
Yeah,
So
it's
that alone bring a positive um outcome to the facility
mhm.
because of your case. I didn't really know that that will lead from one to another.
Yeah. Well, you have to remember that your thyroid
Mhm.
runs your entire body. Red
Mm.
and white blood cells are running straight through your thyroid, carrying everything to the rest of your body. When your thyroid's not working right, it's slowing down your brain. It's slowing down your digestion. It's slowing down your heart. It's slowing down everything.
Mm.
So if you have hypothyroidism, everything is running on a slower level. But if you have hyperthyroidism, everything's running on a faster level. So people
Gotcha.
with hyper traditionally don't have issues with cancer, but people that have hypo tend to have the cancer issues.
Mm.
But here's another thing:
Mhm.
papillary carcinoma is considered the silent killer because you don't know you have it until it's too late.
That sucks.
I will tell everybody the same thing over and over again. I tell
Uh-huh.
my kids, I yell at them all the time: distended stomachs. If your stomach is distended, your digestive system is backed up. That is breeding grounds for any type of colon cancer.
Hmm.
But a lot of people don't realize that, but it
Hmm.
is. It's breeding grounds. You know, you're if you're slowing down your digestive system, what do you think is going to happen?
Hmm.
Put two and two together. It's that
That
simple.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be a genius
Mm-mm.
to because just you putting it into words is like you can visualize it.
Mhm.
It only makes sense.
I mean, if you have a distended stomach, think about it. What's going on in there that it's distended? Your liver is infected.
Mm-hmm.
It's not processing right. Your kidneys are infected. They're
Mm-hmm.
not processing right, slowing down everything that's happening through your intestinal system.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
That just doesn't sound good at all.
so I tell my children, I said, listen, I don't care what anybody says. You guys start putting weight on, like Nicky put weight on when he first met his wife
Hmm.
before they were married. And I was like, no. No, 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 no. And then Alec, the same thing. He had started putting weight on. I was like, what'd I tell you?
Mm-hmm.
That stomach. No, that's not an option. I mean, we're already full figured type people just with our frames. We don't need the extras. And your stomach is more important than your heart.
And I heard somebody say that actually because everything
Hmm.
is derived from there.
Hmm. That's where you're getting your nutrition from.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're getting your lack of nutrition from.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not properly digesting the foods that you're eating, if you're eating good food, you're not getting the benefit that you need to make sure that your legs are not, you know, they're not, what is it, edema? You're not swelling up around your
Okay.
ankles, your legs. You're not having that pins and needles for neuropathy. Do you know how to get rid of neuropathy?
Mm.
No doctor knows.
Do you know how?
Eat right. Yes.
You sound like
Yes.
my mom right now.
Yes.
You know, any kind of discomfort, I tell my mom, okay, what did you eat for the past couple of days?
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
very true because
How
it's
you're eating, how
yeah.
your body's digesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Everybody wonders, you know, and I've told the older people that I speak with all the time. They're like, oh, you know, I have this swelling in my, you know, in my ankle. I got neuropathy. I can't stand. Because I'm like, you got to walk. You got to do, you know, even if it's just a little bit. I tell them, sit at your table, sit at your chair, put your feet planted straight on the ground, and lift your tippy toes. Do calf extensions.
Mm.
That's going to pump the blood back from your feet and your legs back up into your heart, which is going to help you alleviate the swelling, alleviate the neuropathy, alleviate all of the things that are killing you. Everybody says, oh, death starts in the legs. No, it doesn't. It starts in your digestive system.
Everything starts
In your digestive system. If and no, you know, I'm not being dogmatic to anyone who drinks or anyone who you know, doesn't eat the best menu, you know. But I will say this, everything that you put into your body, everything within moderation, it's not going to hurt you. It's when you overindulge in everything that you're doing, that's what's going to hurt you. That's what's going to kill you. That's what's going to put, you know, lead you to that one foot into the grave. Come away from it.
That's true.
You know, there's ways of coming away from it. And I tell, you know, and the simplest people, you know, if you can do this, you can do so much more.
I just come up with a name for you. You ever consider being an holistic instructor?
So I'm going to say this, and my team lead with my former company, I love him dearly. Hey, Dre. But he called me the sales angel.
The sales angel.
That's my nickname, the sales angel.
I love that.
And I laughed, and I knew exactly where he was going with it, because he knew that if I had someone on the phone with me and they were already in the best plan available, I let them know, you're in the best plan in your area. Go ahead and stay there. We'll talk next year. And if you know anyone who needs any assistance, by all means, you can share my information.
Yeah, you don't find that often.
No,
You don't find that often.
So he deemed me the sales angel, and I love him dearly. And he's definitely going to get a copy of this as well.
Right? I love the name. I love the name.
Yeah.
And as you were speaking, you know, I'm remembering working with seniors. So when I first came into the insurance industry, all I did was Medicare for the first couple of years. And I remember the conversations, the pain, this, that, and those who are going through doctors and they just, you know, just a whole bunch of medication. And so I feel like you would have a voice, like if you were to offer that service to seniors, especially the population of seniors, like little things like that, like, you know, do some calf exercise while you sit down. Like it's not, you know, you could do it. And so I really think you should look if that's a such thing, holistic instructor. And
it could be, you know, and it very well could be. But I will say this as well. Something that I found to open the door to health is lemon zest and orange zest. Literally take the knobbiest lemons and oranges you can find, wash them really good, dry them off, grate them with a cheese grater, put it into like a little Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer, take out a teaspoon, or I tell everybody start with a half a teaspoon. Start with a half a teaspoon and warm water, not hot, not cold, warm water, because your digestive system is, is like shut down right now. You haven't eaten in how many hours?
Hmm.
So to wake it up, you want to wake it up with warm water. And you know, how I know you've heard, but they say, oh, warm water is the best thing for you. It's
I heard
really
that.
not. The only time that it's the best thing for you is when you're waking up your digestive system.
Mm.
Otherwise, cold water is just fine. And I prefer it. So I say this. I tell them take like a shot glass,
Mhm.
if you'd want to say that, but take a shot glass, put a little bit of water in it, put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, bring it out, put the frozen lemon zest and orange zest into the cup, add a little bit more room temperature water to where it's like gulpable, and take it like a shot.
Hmm.
Do that as soon as you wake up. 30 minutes later, do whatever other regimens you do.
Mhm.
Okay. At the end of the night, the best thing that I do, and I wholeheartedly believe in it, turmeric and ginger tea. And if anybody doesn't know, you're not supposed to use honey with a metal spoon. Go get yourself a wood spoon.
Really?
Yes, because it actually destroys the enzymes in the honey.
What?
Yeah. Hello, you ever notice those little honey jars where they
Yeah.
have the little, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a little
Yes,
honey
yes, yes.
ladle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. It actually, the metal kills it over time kills the enzymes. But one other thing is high temperatures. So never microwave honey, or if you're microwaving a drink, that's
Mhm.
fine, but let it get to under 140 degrees. And so basically it's like you want to be able to like sip it, but not
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
fry your
Yeah.
esophagus. But add the honey after the whatever you've warmed up has now started to cool down a little bit.
So do not heat it up with the honey.
No.
Heat it up and then put the honey when it get
Hmm.
below 140.
Hmm. And basically what you want to do is once you get that thing to a nice little boil,
Hmm.
you take it out of the microwave or however you're doing it, and then just set it on the counter. Give it about 2-3 minutes just to steep. And then from there, add your honey in, maybe 5 minutes, but
That's
as long as
interesting.
as long as it comes down, because everybody's like, oh, honey this, honey that, honey is not good if you're not using it the
Using
right
it
way.
I'm shocked with the spoon.
Hmm.
It has to be a wooden
A
spoon.
wooden spoon. So
That's pretty interesting.
Amazon has them. They're the cutest little spoons
I
too.
I did not know we was gonna have a podcast episode where we are. See, and I'm gonna keep my name for you, the holistic instructor. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I feel like
Holistic angel. There you
there
go.
you go, holistic angel, just to merge with
Sales angel.
yes, I love it. I love that. Now going back, let's switch back a little bit on your career, right?
Mhm,
Uh throughout your career in insurance,
mhm.
is is there something that really stood out to you that when you process everything you would do different? So in another word, what would you do different, really, knowing what you know now in the insurance world?
I would have funded myself better to reach more people on a personal level.
Hmm.
I would have gone into independent a lot sooner.
Mm.
Um, what else? Um, so there was a point in 2011 where I actually was going to go into independent, and then some things happened, so
Mhm.
I had to back out of it again.
Mm.
But what I would do differently, um, I don't know that I would have done much differently outside of just being independent
Mhm.
sooner. Um, because with everything that's happened, I've not only reached people's lives on multiple levels,
Mhm.
I've also learned, the education behind reaching different people, understanding the differences of, you know, how corporate America really does treat sales agents.
Mhm.
They, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, So I'll say that corporate America, corporate insurance companies are looking for that bottom line. And they have directed agents to
Mm-hmm.
chase that bottom line.
Mm.
I'm not going to chase the bottom line. I tell my supervisors right from the door, and I've been offered like
Mhm.
upper management positions,
Yes.
and I have declined them. I said to them that I'm not a babysitter. That's not my job.
That's not your
I'm not
job to
going to
do.
babysit people. I'm not going to reprimand people for doing their job where you think they're not because the dollars aren't enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. And it's one thing too with being in a captive environment. You're so restricted. That's one on what you can do for the client and then depending on the company.
Mhm.
And one of the pressure that's been put is the monthly or quarterly quotas you have
Quotas.
to meet.
Mhm.
And when you have that type of pressure on your head, sometimes it's like you've been forced to
To
just reach the
perform.
numbers to
Yeah,
perform.
to perform.
Yes.
And here's the bottom line to that performance. You're hurting someone else in the long run
Mm-hmm.
when you make a poor decision, when you get someone who is unsuspecting and just too trusting, they switch. And let me tell you, there's some agents out there that actually change a policy with a person that they didn't have their true permission as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, that's horrifying.
Oh yeah.
That's horrifying.
Ethics is at an all times low right now.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I was watching this guy on Facebook and I know him. I mean, we spoke over the phone a couple of times and he sold an IUL to a client. And one of the people who are captive with a specific company who can always only sell term policies actually got on the phone with the client, convinced the client to cancel that IUL to get a term. And everything that happened, according to the guy, was what we call twisting.
Mm-hmm.
Like twisting is a
Churning,
thin,
twisting,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a thin line. And when you take your license test, it is unlawful. Like it's not right
It's not.
to twist the policy
Mhm.
and then put the person in a different plan
Mhm.
just because you manipulate them to believe the plan they have was not suffice.
And that's another reason why sales agents, especially in insurance,
Mhm.
have a bad reputation.
Yes.
It's like, you tell somebody, "Oh, what do you do?" "I'm in insurance." "What do you do?" "Oh, I sell blah, 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 blah." And they look at you like, "Oh, you're a salesperson." And they give you that look. And
Mhm.
I'm like, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, we
You
do
know.
we do have agents who does and it's all chasing a commission. They do the things that they're not supposed to do. And long story short with that file is he get a lawyer involved
Then now that
to
company's paying.
exactly.
Yeah.
And well, not yet because it's still a processing investigation on that.
Mhm.
But really, those people who really have one product to sell, it's very unfortunate because a broker like yourself, not only you have the IUL, you also have a term policy.
Mhm.
But if at the moment of explaining to people the difference between the two, they would rather go with a permanent policy, you explain to them the permanent policy, and then they're okay with it. Now, all of a sudden, they meet this other person who convinced them. It's just unethical.
Mhm. It
It's
is.
unethical, especially when you're captive and you have one product to push. But anyway, transition
So
to.
let
Go
me
ahead.
just step back on that for a minute.
Yes.
One thing that the companies that are out there pushing their sales agents to push and
Mhm.
push and do the things that they do, and this is why CMS is the way they are with investigations, as bad as
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah.
It all comes down to the same thing. Companies are saying if you sell, and I'm just hypothetically throwing numbers out,
Mhm.
if you sell 5 policies, you get this percentage. If you sell 10 policies
Yes.
every month. So if you're selling 5 policies, 10 policies, 30 policies, 50 for every tier that you graduate to
Mhm.
in that month, you're getting paid more per
Per
policy
policy. Yep.
than you are on a lower level.
Yep.
Well, I'll just say this. you can do whatever you want.
Hmm.
I'm going to be able to still wake up and look in the mirror, like I said earlier,
Yes.
every single day.
Yes.
I can look in the mirror and say, okay, you know what? I've done everything that I can do right. And I don't want to say that it's in the respect of, oh, when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. Because the way I see it, heaven and hell is right here on earth.
Hmm.
It's what you make of it.
Hmm.
If you are a good soul, you will ascend to a higher level, whether it's in life or in death. If you are a bad soul, you will descend
Hmm.
in life
It's your
and
level
in
of
death.
frequency,
Hmm.
your level of the frequency you operate in
Hmm.
within.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's very unfortunate to see some of the thing that's happening over there in our field. And I respect this industry so much, um, to a point where it does make me uncomfortable to see some of the thing that's happening out there.
Hmm.
It does make me uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, I hope
It's
you can sleep with yourself at
greed.
night.
Listen,
It's greed.
it's greed
It's greed.
driven.
Mhm.
It's greed driven
Definitely.
by the companies
Hmm.
that are employing these agents, and it's greed by the agents because once they see that larger check, they're like, oh,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
now I know what I gotta do.
Oh
And in the
yeah.
meantime, what you've done has not only blemished the industry
Mhm.
and the agents in the industry, it's also now put you at a point where greed is controlling who you are.
Hmm.
With that being said, I'm concerned at what the Department of Financial Services is going to do going forward
Hmm.
with the agents that are doing this because I'm not trying to be mean about it, but licenses should be if you're found, I don't want a penalty. I don't want this. No, restrict their licensing, period. They want to continue to manipulate clients out there that need guidance. They should not hold that license.
I like your perspective on this because it's like kind of like Medicare, right?
Hmm.
Remember how back then Medicare was more, it was kind of like hands off. But when all these frauds start happening, when agents and brokers are switching people without even their knowledge,
Hmm.
the government has to step in to put more regulation. So that's
Hmm.
why you cannot make the initial approach to a senior trying to solicit Medicare,
Hmm.
and like it's more restricted now. So maybe the Department of Insurance, I don't know. I am pro coming with some kind of, I don't know, structure to really minimize some of the fraudulent activity that's been happening.
Hmm.
So I like your approach on that.
Because if CMS and whatever carrier is doing their review on a complaint and they find that it's unfounded, okay, it's
It's
unfounded.
unfounded. Yeah.
But if it's founded,
Yeah.
they need to be restricted.
Hmm.
I think that there should be a restriction to their selling, whether they're penalized. You can pay a fine all day long, but if you're raking it up on the other end, where's how much is that fine really hurting you?
Exactly.
I think that they should suspend licensing for a set amount of months,
Just to.
wake you up.
Hmm.
This isn't the industry for you. You got 6 months to figure out which one is.
I like that.
That's how I think it
I
should be
like
handled.
that.
I really do. I think people should be put on some form of suspension because they did something unethical. Not, oh, you can't write with this company anymore. Well, we can write with that one.
Right.
No, there needs to be a mark on your license through your state that says no. And let's say if you're a person like me, 50 states, in those 50 states, if you do whatever you do in the state of Illinois, for argument's sake, okay, you've just now lost your license for the next 6 months to write anything.
Hmm. I see.
Doesn't matter if you're appointed or not. What state are you in? What are you doing? What type of work? What's
Hmm.
everything. You've got that license. That license should shut down your productivity for a certain period of time.
Hmm.
One strike, two strike, three, what? Out the door.
Hmm. I like that view. That would actually, those who are
That would be
actually in the
minimized.
industry to
Exactly.
do the right thing for the client, they would, maintain that as a career because this is a career.
Mhm.
This is a career.
It's a career choice, yes.
I have two more questions for you before we wrap up. So the first question I have for you is: in the next 5 years, 10 years, who are you? Where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years?
Based on everything going well, I would like to be in a very comfortable stage of my life,
Hmm.
because I'm already older. And I would like to open the door for my son to also be able to expand on his future.
It's a good answer. It's a very good answer. I got to meet your son briefly during the gathering, and a
Mhm.
very bright young man. And I think it would be wise for him to do. And if you're watching this, which I'm sure you will,
Yes, he will.
watch this. Why I think it's wise, it's because in this industry, um, your mom can transfer her book of business to you.
Yes.
That's a legacy
Yes.
transfer. So whether it's her life insurance client or health insurance client, because I have no doubt within the next 5 to 10 years, you can build a portfolio having 100,000 or more passive income based on your experience and what you've done in the industry. And this is a transferable asset to your son.
Mhm.
So as you are watching this, and I know you're watching this, make sure you get licensed. Get with us. We'll help you get licensed.
Yeah.
And as you build your book of business, mom is building her book of business. When that time for the transfer to happen, then you can be ready to get that transfer book of business. So it's one of the most noble industry that's out there, the life and health insurance industry, and positioning yourself to put make a big difference on people's life.
Mhm.
It's a very legacy driven industry. Let's just put it that way.
True.
You know.
One thing I also will say is my younger
Mhm,
son,
mhm.
who you did not meet, he's out in Texas.
Okay.
He's in the financial industry as well. I'm going to leave his company name out of it. But with
Hmm.
that being said, that financial sector can grow as well, which I've kind of suggested that he, gain his license as well to be able to open the door in that industry. Now
Mm.
we all know that, once you're in our status, we can always do, um, oh my God, Series 6, 7, and 8
Hmm. Hmm.
licensing as well to do like higher investments.
Yeah,
So I guided my younger son into that as well.
that's good.
Now, if both of them are licensed, when I am ready to pull back, they both will be able to gain whatever,
That's
I've
true.
built.
That's true. And they can transfer that to their kids as
Mhm.
well.
If they wanted to,
If they
yes.
want to. So that's pretty amazing. I'm happy you add that to it. So finally, what would you say to someone that's actually what's the message you would say to someone that's actually working on getting the insurance license right now?
Stay with integral values. Um, know what you're doing and know that the people that you're able to sit in front of not only trust you to make changes in their lives, but also hmm, not only trust, but they also appreciate if you're doing the right thing. Which is what I was going to say earlier, but I was like, for the people that don't do the right thing. So, with that being said, yeah, just understand that um, we're viewed as doctors, we're viewed
Yes.
as educators, we're viewed as, we wear too many hats as insurance agents. And in wearing those hats, we have to know that not only are we giving them the right information, this isn't been big pharma talking to us. This is us talking to human beings.
Hmm.
Find the avenue that works best for the client. And if it's something that you walk away from, you'll walk away with more integrity
Yes.
than you will with money because your integrity is who sets the stage for who you are.
Amen.
And thank you.
Amen to that.
And anyone who is sitting across from anyone looking to make a change in their life or structurally protect their life, you're their God. They are coming to you, or you're their doctor, per se. They are coming to you for education, understanding of making the best moves going forward. If you're not on that level and you can't be the person that they need in their life to guide them in the right direction, this isn't the industry for you. Don't look at it about, oh, I can make this much money a year. Let me tell you something. It's not about the money. It's about the principle. And if you can't follow the just principles in this industry, then this industry is not for you.
Man, that was a direct message from the heart. I felt that one.
Because it's meant.
I felt that one.
It's meant.
And
This is not just money. This is people's
No.
lives.
It's not. One thing I will always tell my guys is when I get to financial services, start doing my insurance, and I also have my real estate license. I was at that point of my life where I was looking to make more money to take care of my family. But now I'm fully in the insurance world. Years ago, it transitioned for it not to be about money, because if it stays about money, you will only last so long in this industry. You cannot last that long because it's
true.
money driven.
You also have to remember, for all the people that are out there just doing it for the money, eventually, the Department of Financial Services is going to catch up.
They're
with
gonna
you.
catch up with you. They're gonna.
You
Oh,
know?
I've read countless stories
Mhm.
of people who lose their license all because of greed.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that you refer to this as you are the doctor,
Yeah.
the financial doctor, and when you sit with people, they trust you based on the information you provide to them.
Correct.
So it's not just a transaction, it is a life-changing relationship you are building with that person. And you also want to position yourself that where your client can always edify you to other potential clients,
Perspectives. Yeah.
prospective
Yep.
clients.
Mhm.
And you want to also position yourself to um, I'll give you this example. Like right now, clients will sometimes call me to invite me to the kids' graduation, to invite me to, barbecue they having.
Yeah, because you've established their lives.
That relationship.
You created, by your proper direction, you created a stable environment for their family.
Yes.
You are not only just their insurance agent, you have now become family.
Yes.
I mean, honey, let me tell you, if I opened up my phone, you'd be amazed at how many people I'm still talking to. And anyway.
Oh no, I wouldn't be surprised.
But I mean, like
because
these are clients that I'm like, okay, this, doing the right thing, structuring the right thing. You have to remember that, and once again, I say this: if you can't look in the mirror and see the good in you, there is no good in you.
I'm gonna let you guys go with this. That's done. That is like mic drop.
Pretty much.
Let me just say I really appreciate you coming on, and thank you for the wisdom, the knowledge. Thank you for the stories. And I hope this is not the last time we're gonna have you here at the Denner's Ear Effect podcast. So with that being said, as you know, our goal is to always bring you value. And I hope you find value at this session, which we have with Grace. May God bless you. May God bless your family. And may God bless this beautiful country we call America. Bye-bye, everyone.
God bless. Bye-bye.